Okay, well, thanks, gentlemen. As usual, now that we've stopped we don't have the normal meetings, I'll just give you a bit of an update on what's been going on in the last month, a few things, so if you bear with me. The first thing, for those that didn't know, it's a sad duty to report that Mark's father passed away during the month as well. He's a long-time member of the club, so our thoughts are with Mark, you and your family over that.
Thanks, Geoff.
I got a call today from Leif. You might have remembered he was the radio operator, Norwegian. He phoned up to apologise and saying that he's got some family problems and that they're going to preclude him playing the radios for the next little while. So he apologised, which was very good of him, and he said, no problem at all. The door was open, you know, whenever you want to drop in and say hello, you know where we are. So he won't be joining us. The AR articles, amateur radio articles keep coming through. Mark, fantastic. The last one hit the streets yesterday, I think, wasn't it? And great article. We're getting more and more column space each month, courtesy of Mark's penmanship, and the one for January. In fact, you just sent off today, didn't you, Mark? And that's even bigger and better. So,
Geoff, is the magazine still coming out? The actual printed magazine?
Yeah, I get mine.
I've had one for 6 months, and I've been more financial.
Yeah. Well, did you say you didn't want one?
No, I never would have said that.
Okay, bring him up.
No, okay. I thought it disappeared.
I would have bought it.
Yeah, of course I played it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, and it's great. You know, we're getting half a page in AR, and what it's painting a picture of is an enthusiastic, vibrant club. We may not be as big as some of the other ones, but we're certainly doing more and having a lot of fun doing it. So that's great, Mark. And you know, it's great that you're able to do it from the other side of the country too, with a bit of poetic license. Fantastic.
Yeah, make stuff up, usual sort of thing.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
That's it.
The 80-metre nets, courtesy of John, who's not here tonight, but you know, John was amongst others was agitating to get formalised an 80-metre net. So that's now on the second Tuesday, and we've had a couple of those now, and limited success some nights, but I think it's fair to say we're all having a bit of fun, a bit of a hit and giggle there, and there's been other time like this weekend, Baz, you wanted to come up on 80, sent out a quick email to the group, and there was about half a dozen of us, I think, managed to get up over the weekend. So, you know, people are on HF and ready, so anyone wants to have a little bit of a play getting bored, send an email out, and you're going to get someone coming back to join, so that's great fun. Well, during the month, the noise cancellers, I've been trying to follow what's going on with Jerry and Martin and Terry and Maurice, and we're going to come in. Royce here, come in. And for those that didn't meet, this is Royce, who's outside of setting up some wizardry.
I've got the PARG site set up on the TV there, so just on YouTube, but I can zoom when I get the
part of the evening. We'll go and have a look at what you've got set up for us. What's the during the month, portable ops, I was portable, and Mark also went portable on 80 metres. So thanks to everybody that comes up. I mean, it's great fun when we're going portable. It's great fun. Notwithstanding, wasn't Terry said he's going to pass the hat around for a bloody linear. Did you hear what he said, Mark? They want to pass the hat around for a linear so they can talk to me once in a while. Bloody rude.
Terrific. Good idea.
Hey, rude, I reckon.
Just need more power.
I'll be going out to Prebley again in another couple of weeks. I think, Mark, you're heading off at the end of this week, aren't you?
Heading off on Thursday, but probably won't be operating. I'll take the radios, but probably won't be operating. But I'm going to know where we're going. Probably Blowering Dam, which is about 2 hours from here. So, but we'll see.
Let us know. You know, as I said, if you just send an email, people come up pretty quick. I'll certainly give it a crack.
Yep. Thanks, mate.
Anyone else heading off portable in the next month?
Yeah, I'm going to head up to Way Rock.
Oh, excellent. So you'll be going taking Kit with you?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, if you just let us know when you're going and come up with whatever sketch you want
I've
to
got to
set.
convince my wife what date we need to go.
If she lets you use the Hills Oysters and antenna, mate, it shouldn't be a problem.
The Hills Hoist is still a problem.
Put the squid pole on top of Wave Rock, you'd be right. Really good.
I've been buying some of these mini antennas from the UK. I just received some yesterday and a couple last week. So hopefully with that little G90 and some of these decent aerials, maybe I can do some.
No, good. Okay, look, a couple of things that I just wanted to get some feedback from you all on. You've heard me talking about the lighthouses, activating the lighthouses, and then Foul Bay as well. So that's 3 lighthouses. When we were down in Prevelly last month, we found a place called Ellensbrook House, about halfway between Cape Lewin and Cape Naturalist, right down on the beach. Glorious, and it's a very historic house. What interested me is there's no radio comms there at all. There's absolutely, they don't get TV, they don't get internet, they don't get phone, they don't get anything. And I thought, well, why don't we try and combine it in with what we're doing? And so I've bounced off a few of you, but I think we're sort of getting to the stage we might actually see if we can't start planning something. What I was sort of hoping that we could perhaps do is have a long weekend where we went away and perhaps stay somewhere like Narva River, Prevelly, just somewhere sort of about halfway, and then take whites. We wanted to know there's plenty to do down there, and then
I don't have one.
get off.
Can I borrow one?
Margaret River.
Is that inappropriate, then? You were supposed to let me know.
And then,
TRG, yeah.
I'm not licensed.
then we head off and take PARG 1, possibly PARG 2, but we go and set up portable at both lighthouses. We've got standing invitations to go and operate for Cape Lewin, Cape Naturalist. A Foul Bay light is one that we'll have to walk into. It's about a 2K walk. I'll certainly be up for that one. So you're going to take everything with you. And then Ellensbrook as well. And with Ellensbrook House, the thought of if we can get some sort of a repeater, UHF going, or some sort of repeater link, or some sort of link to go between the 2 capes. So I can just see a whole host of fun activities for for a long weekend. And I was sort of thinking, I mean, I know some people work, but some of us can get away and perhaps go down Friday, spend the weekend there, and go out each Saturday and Sunday to the various locations. Have a bit of play, come back. There's restaurants and wineries and all that sort of stuff, and then perhaps come back Monday. Those that work on the week, maybe just come down on Saturday and Sunday. But that's the sort of concept of something that I was thinking about. So we've done all the groundwork. We've got the lighthouses ready, willing, and able to have us there. So and Ellensbrook belongs to the National Trust and Narva River Tourism Authority. They're also pretty keen, and we'll get that formalised in the next week or so. And so once that comes through, we can have a really great weekend, I think. So I just sort of wanted to show our hands if people are interested in that sort of activity for a long weekend. Pretty much, okay. Yeah, right. Well, in terms of timing,
Mark's in as well.
I know Mark is. Yeah. And Bruce, bring your flu with you. Yep, good. Well, what about timing, gents? We try and steer clear of the school holidays. That's a no school holidays. So we're talking about a Q1 next year, somewhere when it's probably cooled off a little bit as well. But somewhere about March-ish, I don't know, between the school holidays next year. And what I can do is start getting together some costs and caravan parks. And find a caravan park that's got cabins as well as powered sites and non-powered sites. So those with caravans can take caravans. Those without caravans can stay at one of the dollars there. And, so is that all sort of gelling?
Yep.
You're happy for me to sort of just go ahead and sort of plan tentatively a date and come back to you in this meeting and we'll sort of just gently move forward like that? Yeah, okay, all right. Okay. Today I met with, I came in here and met with the team, management team of SES. Something perhaps I should have done earlier because I'm taking over. It was a courtesy call to say hello to everybody. And of course they were welcomed me and building on the basis of 25 years of the relationship between PARG and SES and DPS and most recently, of course, with people involved in prison for the last 2 years, and a member and so on. So it was just really wagging our tail, and they reiterated the invitations for us to be partaking and doing lots of stuff. There was a few things that I bounced off them, which were just sort of real fly in the sky stuff. Things like if we want to come in and have a night where we want to get on soldering irons and perhaps do a couple of projects for an evening, no problem. I've shown them the space down there, as long as we tidy it up. The possibility of perhaps getting a couple of mobile lockable cupboards on wheels, and we could perhaps leave some stuff here, so it'd be nice and safe.
I've got a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yep, that's like full computer. It does everything. It's this big. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Well, anyway, we just bounced that off them as well, and they said, yeah, no problem at all. And the other thing, while I was on a roll, and was just throwing things out there as well, so they've got the 2 caravans out the back there, OCS caravan and so on. What about PARG 1, keeping it here? And I said, oh, that's no problem. And I just threw it out there. So, there's what I'm trying to point out is there's a lot of scope for actually perhaps greater involvement here if we want to. And the other thing is out here, the barbecue area. So, make use of it. Feel free to use it as well. So,
so full. I remember I said I've got everything, so it can be set up.
Yeah.
Not use their stuff, so I can do that. I can bring all that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. So the other thing is they said that DFS pays for this, but the City of Mandurah owns the land, so we should talk to the City of Mandurah. So I was on a roll, spoke to their liaison officer today and just sort of introduced myself and reinforced we're here to help and PARG and all the rest of it. So basically it was just sort of a time-making exercise that I did on our behalf. So yeah, that all looks pretty good, and certainly if we want to look at using workshops, so not their workshop, it's just a bench, and our own soldering lines and stuff. If we want to do that, we can sort of talk about it a bit further. Running sausage sizzle, I sent an email around about 2 weeks ago. We cracked one of those, so it's another grand, $1,100 for us. Hard work, but nice. There it is. So we're pretty lucky to get 2 in 6 months. So I've just today went round to Woolworths over here and tried to screw their prices down to the prices that I got last time for the drinks. I think we were down to $14 for a 30-pack of Coke. I got a pretty good price last time. They're not prepared to match it. I did send an email to everyone. If you see a special in any of the supermarkets, particularly for drinks, they're down under 50 cents a can.
The target's always 50 cents a can.
And on that, because I'm doing a fair bit else, I wondered if you've got a volunteer that can actually take on the responsibility of just getting this sausage sizzle up and running and just sort of making sure everything's going to work and purchasing stuff and everything else. Is anyone going to put their hand up for that?
I can. My niece and nephew's grandfather works, so Frank.
You probably need to be local, mate, because a bit of asking about.
Rockingham is, wasn't it?
No, here.
I think.
Yeah, Bunnings here.
Okay.
So you're very happy. Great to have you on.
I can do it. I'm doing.
I can buy 6 buns and sausages, that'll help.
Well, otherwise it sort of falls to Paul and I. And
You got give me like organised things, like
and it's the purchasing as well. It's just getting around all the supermarkets, just getting the best deal. My view of all this, run small businesses and very large ones, but every dollar counts. And we get out there in the sun and we sweat and we do all the work for the day. And I don't want to be giving dollars away to Woolworths or anyone else. Just want to get every dollar that we can out of them. So, no, put their hand up really. All this action.
Geoff, I'll take it on.
Yeah,
I can organise, but I
take it
don't drive, so I can do all the things online and all that.
Well, it's just the purchase.
It's where you got the best prices, not to work with that. That's all.
All right.
Nice to know.
Okay.
I work with Tony's help with the collection of goods and things, particularly in the past, which has been really helpful.
Well, these people over here said, if we get everything from them, if we get caught short, we can go over and get more without charging.
We've always done that, yeah.
Exorbitant prices.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the stuff
probably
is
so.
cheap, the quality's.
But they don't cut the buns. So anyway,
They're all different sizes too.
all right. Well,
So December 13 it is,
December 13th. Yep.
Sunday it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The final thing I just wanted to ask is, does anyone have a Christmas drinks or Christmas thing or whatever? If not, doesn't matter. No? Well, that's easy.
When's our tech night in December?
Yeah, tech night in December is 15th.
Why don't we bring a bottle of wine each and a tray of goodies? Oh, you don't have to have one or two glasses, you don't have to bring the whole bottle. That's what I've done in the past, I just bought a bottle of wine.
I'll talk to Chris then here about whether we can bring grog in, and they'd like to bring grog in. I'll
I
talk
don't
to
know,
him.
sorry, I don't know, that's-
We've done it before.
I think we have done it for
Yes, surely they did.
We had that dinner, didn't we?
All right.
Bring your own.
So it sounds like
That was it pretty well.
They just can't retail it.
We did have a Christmas dinner once. Got the wives and everything in there.
Yeah, adults only.
And you don't ask.
It was the last
Sneak it
year
in
I
and do it.
Martin's son, he was a chef, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He cooked it,
well, somebody wants to
Big number,
organise it.
eh?
Yeah, somebody wants to
yeah.
organise
I'm backing right off out of it.
it. Yeah, okay. Okay, well,
Now, that's a good idea.
what was that?
Get a couple of skippies.
All right, well,
More than a heart attack.
send an email around to perhaps a couple of beers or a bottle of something here for the next.
What is the logical choice here, Bosma?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's my update. Done Zoom. Let's talk on the theory of noise cancelling, BK2KI.
Let's get underway. So we're going to talk tonight about noise cancelling. Hooray! And in particular, HF noise cancellers and how they work. Does anybody recognise the radio?
520.
Very good.
Yes.
It's you'll notice it is on 80 metres, and it has a 20/9 noise level. 80 metres has always been a noisy band, with both noise generated by power lines and so on, QRN, and static crashes, of course. So, of course, the static crashes are really just part of the fun. And of course, at night time, the band opens to the tropics, and so we hear the lightning crashes from all over the place. It's just a fact of life. However, nowadays, the switch mode power supplies are the bane of our existence, and a lot of what we hear, a lot of the QRN that we hear on 80 metres is caused by these switch mode power supplies, particularly in urban locations, continuous noise. So in many, Maurice's place perhaps aside, for most other people around the Peel area, when they turn onto 80 metres, all they hear is hash. So the problem is the switch mode power supplies, they are everywhere. This is what we're talking about, these little things. You've all seen them, you've all used them. This is from computers, but you know, your TV's got them. Everything uses switch mode power supplies at the moment, and how they work, that can be that can be another topic. But needless to say, they produce a wide spectrum of noise. Righto. So Tony and I were actually talking about noise because we were having a chat on 80 metres and we could hear each other, but Tony was having trouble copying other people because of all this noise. And I was waxing about, hey, by carefully arranging a couple of antennas, and by introducing different lengths of coax, we could probably arrange some sort of phased noise cancelling. And Tony said, I've got just the thing sitting on my bench. So, and shortly after that, the discussion continued, and Martin, then FEEE, now EEE, said, you can, for less than $60, you can buy a noise canceller kit. So that started us on the journey. So that's the MFJ one that Tony Tony lent to Martin, the other Martin, MJ, and we didn't. None of us thought Tony'd ever get it back, because for the first time Martin could operate on HF, and just loved it. So yeah, there you go. And the other one, the VK5TM kit, very simple, 3 transistors, and as Terry knows, and a very simple box of tricks. And tonight we're going to find out how well they work or don't. Righto. So it's all about phase, or for those who have watched the Rocky Horror movie, it's just a jump to the left. Let's talk about phase. So for, I guess as a reminder for some, what is phase, and for others, it may be a new idea. I'm just going to quickly go over the basics of what is phase, and what happens when you add signals in a linear system. And in that sort of situation, what's the effect of changing the phase? Righto, I'm now going to share a different screen here. Bear with me. Any questions before I go on? Is there anybody out there?
Yeah.
That's good.
At least now it's Tony's fault.
No,
Had to be somebody. Righto. Now, can you see that? Not the numbers, but can you all see the sine waves?
Yep.
Righto. So we have two signals. They happen to be sine waves. Sine of x, sine of y. In a linear system, when we add the two together, we end up with the sine wave that's shown down the bottom. Now, sine of x, it has a peak of 1, right? And the other peak of -1. Sine of y, 1, -1. When you add them together, as you move along the axis, as you move up the sine waves, they add together. So maximum of 2, right? At 180 degrees, back to 0, down to -2. So pretty simple, right? So we have the sum of 2 waves. Now, if I move one of these waves, such as, so if I move sine y, so it's moved 45 degrees to the right. It's just a jump to the left or right, whatever. All right. So now these 2 waves are not in phase anymore. So what's happened? The sum, see, instead of being 2 peak and -2, it's actually a little bit less, right? So it's 1.8, something like that. I don't go a bit further. We shift y by 90 degrees, right? So it starts, the wave starts 90 degrees later. See, we're now down to 1.5. Keep going, so I don't know, 120. Oh, when you add them together, it's the peak is 1. Keep going, 170 degrees, plucking a number. Look at that. When you add these two together, as you increase the angle, guess what? We're down to about 0.2. And magically, when the two signals are exactly out of phase, right? So this this wave increases from 0. This one actually 180 degrees out of phase. It goes negative at the same time. Guess what? It adds up to 0. And we can keep going. So if we've got 210 degrees, say, oh, guess what? It starts coming back. Righto. So say 300 degrees. Yep, it's building up again. 360 degrees. We're back to 0. Righto. Is that everybody got the concept there? It's when you add two in a linear circuit, when you add two signals together, if they're the same frequency and phase, they sum. But if they're out of phase, i.e. if it's 180 degrees out of phase, one will actually cancel the other. And if they are both of the same amplitude, you end up with 0. Right. Questions on that before I move on? Nope.
There's none.
Anybody out there?
Impressive
Yes,
spreadsheet.
still here.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, aren't spreadsheets wonderful? Just so easy. Righto, so what we've done, so what is phase? It's the relationship between the two signals, the timing of the two signals, let's say. When you add them in a linear system, as you can see, as you change the phase, you can get one to cancel the other. I say linear system. If it's a non-linear system, you put two signals in, they don't add, they actually multiply. Causes some of different frequencies, but that's for another topic. Righto. So, so this is exactly what a noise canceller does. Or that is exactly what a noise canceller does. So, this bottom is our normal antenna. It's a preamplifier. Goes into, it's a bit furry around here. It says wideband combiner, i.e. a linear sum. Okay, we have it's called, in this case, an interference aerial or an auxiliary aerial or a sense antenna, something like that. Feeds into a box which allows you to A, change the levels, and B, change the phase. Okay, amplify it, attenuate it, sum it. There's your outcome, your output. So, in this situation, our receiving antenna is receiving. What's it receiving? It's receiving VK6GHD portable at prevalent at strength 3. And in Tony DQ's case, he's receiving S9 plus of noise, okay? So that's what's coming in here. What's coming in the sense antenna. So for instance, the sense antenna might be the little whip antenna on top of the box. It might be, in Martin's case, a multimeter probe, some sort of a antenna that doesn't pick up the wanted signal so much, but it does pick up the interference because it's actually physically in the building that that's generating the interference. So by adjusting the phase and amplitude of this interfering signal, can the system can cancel. Righto. So, everybody follow that?
No worries.
The wiring diagram. I'll go very quickly through it. Your main antenna is on the right hand side here. This is your transceiver, so your receiver output. Your main antenna's signal goes through a simple attenuator into half of a mixer. Okay, there's a FET. The output of the mixer, this is a emitter follower, so just a low impedance preamplifier, I suppose, or amplifier, passes through this relay back to your radio. This stuff up the top, Terry doesn't need this stuff because that's the push to talk system. In this case, it's a Vox type system, but because Terry likes blowing up these little things, he doesn't use it. Is that right, Terry?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, good.
I can't form the smoke though.
Yeah, let the green smoke out. Righto. All right, enough of that. Okay, so that's just your push to talk system. As I said, in this case, it's a Vox type system. Righto, your noise antenna over here. Actually, before I talk about the noise antenna, the MFJ has a whip antenna on the top, and that's this one here. Two-stage of preamplification, and you can select the whip. So this whip antenna with amplification, we could call it an active antenna. It's just the same. So this can be your noise source coming in here, or alternatively, the noise could come from your sense antenna, your multimeter probe, whatever you happen to have to pick up the noise inside your building. Righto. So the noise signal from one or the other fed down here through an attenuator to as best I can work out, it looks, the way it's drawn here, it's a little unclear, but I suspect this is like a bridge type circuit. And we'll talk about bridges at another time. But for us now, through selecting one or other of these capacitors and varying this resistor, you can change the phase of the noise signal, righto, through up to 180 degrees. Okay, this is a 180 degree phase reversal, so you can change the phase by varying a small amount here, or you can just say 180 degrees swap up or down into half of this this balanced mixer, as I said, off to your receiver. So that's it might look complicated. It's actually pretty simple. So that's the MFJ 1026. The VK5TM X noise is even simpler. Just couldn't get any simpler. It's great. Righto. Again, your main antenna comes in. Very simple voltage divider type attenuator into one side of this balance. What do I call it? Balance mixer. It's not actually a mixer. It's a linear type mixer. Righto. Your noise antenna comes in here, and the phasing arrangement. I suspect it's not a bridge in this case, but if you can imagine, you can see that the secondary of this of the toroid of the transformer here, it's balanced. So neither side is earthed. What you're doing is actually earthing through this phase resistor by moving the slider up to this end, for instance. You're putting this end at ground point, so maximum signal through this other arm, and vice versa. I suspect that what's happening here is these capacitors and this resistor are forming like a series RC type circuit, and this is again allowing you to change the phase of the noise. This one is coarse, I would think, and Maurice will tell us, or in fact the demonstration will tell us if that's the case. And I reckon this one is a finer amount of phase change. Righto, signal comes into the other side of this linear type mixer. Emitter, no, it's not an emitter follower. What do you call that in a FET? Source, I guess, a source follower type system through the relays, and yep, back out to your radio. So, and this is the push to talk type system down the bottom, as Terry knows.
It doesn't work.
Righto, connection, very simple. The noise canceller goes between your transceiver and your main antenna. Noise antenna gets plugged in as well. Take note of this line. Terry, sorry. Righto, so very simple.
It can be hard.
He can. He's a hard taskmaster.
Yeah, I know.
No way to live.
But we've taken the piss out of Geoff over letting the smoke out of his 817. So hey, it's your turn. Righto, on. Terry asked the question the other day. Well, isn't it a pity that the thing doesn't work for static crashes? Well, maybe, but maybe it does. So I think, and we're maybe if we're lucky, we might demonstrate it tonight. For your noise antenna, if you actually have an external antenna, but operating on a different frequency to your main antenna, particularly something like a mobile whip, which has pretty high Q, and it rejects everything else apart from the frequency it's tuned to. So, for instance, if you're listening on 80 meters, but you've got a 40 meter whip, I reckon it'll still pick up the noise, but it won't pick up your main signal, or very much of your desired signal. So potentially you could cancel out the static crashes, because that they'll come through on both antennas, but not your desired signal. So hopefully tonight we'll have a look at that. Righto. What about both? What about if you want to get rid of static crashes and building noise? Well, and if we have time tonight, we might stick them in cascade. One with an outer band antenna, one with the internal antenna. What happens if you stick them in cascade? Can you cancel them both? Don't know. We'll find out. Righto. The other thing you can do with these little boxes, you can not only can you use them to null out noise, you can actually change the phase and get gain from your two antennas. So if you have two antennas which are the same, by varying the phase between them, surprise, surprise, you can steer the antennas not to null out undesired signal, or give you up to 3 dB of gain with your desired signal. So you can get some sort of gain and directivity, directionality, directivity, whatever it is. The MFJ, by changing some internal links inside the box, you can make it work like this. So if you're Baz, for instance, and you would like to be able to contact people in Mandurah, south of him, wouldn't it be nice to be able to steer his antenna in that direction? Righto. So that is about it, I think. Over to the demonstrations.
Thanks, Mark. Basically everything Mark said, so we won't bother going there again. This little unit here is the famous antenna tuner, or antenna noise canceller, I should say, from VK5TM, and for me it's been working really well. I have been experimenting with different noise antennas. This blue chunk of wire here of an undetermined length is what I'm using tonight. At home, I plugged the thing into the earth or the shack ground, and I don't know why it works, but it works extremely well. This blue bit of wire that we're using tonight for the noise antenna seems to work okay in here as well. The other thing I found, the little telescopic antenna I've added myself, and there's no mention of it at all on the VK5TM site of having one of these, but I just thought I'd add it, and it turned out to be a total failure because I think I need some amplification. So just ignore that little bit of an antenna there because it really doesn't work. Sorry?
It's not part of the original design.
It's what?
It's a stick.
It's yeah, or whatever you want to call it, flagpole or whatever. It doesn't really work that well at all. I've just linked it in via a switch into the noise antenna circuit, but obviously that's not what to do with it.
So Maurice, your little bit of blue wire, how long is that compared to the whip, for instance?
How long is that compared to the what?
Compared to the whip?
Oh, the whip. Oh, look, I'm not even sure how long that bit of blue wire is. It's just something I found in the shack.
4 meters.
Yeah, 4 or 5 meters, I suppose, Robert.
Right.
I mean, this little fella here is about yay long.
Yeah.
As you can see it. But it really makes no difference at all. I've tried various ways of trying to make it work and does nothing.
Okay.
Notice on that circuit diagram you had up on the wall there, this unit has an amplifier for that little telescopic antenna.
That's right. It has a 2-stage preamp, so yeah, that's probably the difference.
Probably the reason why it doesn't work. And there's no mention of it, like I say, on the website, so just ignore it. There's 3 knobs in the front, and believe it or not, it's a really simple thing to use. I just turn the knobs until it shuts up. So, you know, I don't. There's nothing much more to it, and I'll demonstrate that now if you want. I'll just turn my little famous Microbitix Radio 1, which has been renamed by Mark as the Wigbix, affectionately. Oh shit, that's on the on there. I'll find it quieter. Oh, so you can hear there's a bit of noise in here at the moment. I've got it connected as Mark suggested. Antenna, antenna tuner, and noise canceller in that form. So I'll just shut it up now. I'll just see if I can shut this noise up. And I usually start in the middle knob. Sometimes you can just pick it out. There you are. Job's done. Pretty good.
Have you got an estimate on that? Is it?
Oh no, there's not much good. So I'll make that noise come back again, which is the normal noise you would hear without the canceller.
Wouldn't that occur if you turn the power off?
Sorry?
Wouldn't that just change if you turn the power off? On the canceller?
What, on the radio?
No, off the canceller.
No, because I don't think so, because you've already got the knob set. I don't know. Here we go.
Yeah, if you turn the power off, it
Power's off.
out. So
Yeah.
that's the same thing. So I couldn't actually hear the difference there, Maurice. Because, no, because the microphone in the room wasn't picking up. But so you're saying it was a sort of significant change?
What band have you got on 80 metres?
80 metres.
Is anybody on 80 metres so we can hear somebody in conversation?
Oh, I've just changed that frequency. I've gone down to 3600.
Just
Oh,
find
okay.
someone
Well,
there
since it's
so we
fine,
can-
it's fine.
If you can't hear anybody, I can come up on one of the remotes if you like.
Yeah, just you had a station.
I did have someone there before, but
3605 is maybe and 3630 -ish. So if you know that then as well, so you can keep
no, yeah, okay. Right.
you know them. So you know that then.
No.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to get it, I suppose.
The question is, without the noise cancelling over here.
Yeah, well, you know, that noise antenna there is what is the biggest thing to make these things work. If you've got a noise antenna which is effective, it will kill us straight away. I don't know if we can actually connect this to an earth somehow.
I've never used it, so I don't
So the
know.
instructions I found a bit difficult, but I did watch a YouTube video before I came out here, which made it a little bit easier to follow than that particular one. If I can remember all the steps in my head, which is not very easy. First thing is the band. Frequency high, frequency low. So low is you know where it might in. Then we can
Maurice is rearranged for operation below 7. Release it for.
Okay, so it's released. Right, okay. So as I remember, the video is kind of slowly, so power down. And you have the auxiliary right down, and main antenna all the way up. So now we're going on the main antenna only. We're only listening to the main antenna. And we listen to it's a bit static there, which will be a bit of voice in the background.
Tune the phone semi-single.
So now, if we go to the opposite of that, the main antenna down, and then turn on, we'll adjust the auxiliary antenna to hit the same level.
I designed the house longer. Really.
So that's the auxiliary antenna at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes, they just disappeared.
It's just costly because it's too. We've got a close proximity antenna here, which is not picking up the external sources. So,
You're on the roof?
external antenna. Take this onto external antenna over here.
Yeah, don't do that.
I got one here.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we're going for 2 external antennas, and, 1 reference, 1 main.
The way they do the 2 real ones is make it a street block, plastic.
And that was what?
Not the mobile. Is it that one?
You also got
Yes,
That's a helical with 20 metre. Yeah, that's right, Does it bring up the auxiliary gain?
So
You still can't hear anything coming out on that one.
So we will put an antenna.
Let's go back to the original setup, just to show us
What it is. Right there, right? It takes everything.
it does, it's taking a
Well, that's what that did.
Yeah. So that's a bit difficult when it takes up too much.
Screwdriver.
Just take that out here.
That was it. Series.
That there is the antenna. Normally it's
Got a sat, John. Got a sat.
Oh, good. Well, I've never used it, so I can't. Martin used it quite successfully, but I've never used it, so I don't know. Yeah, he was.
It's coming out of the ATU.
Well, he's going to be rebought, I think.
Into the antenna socket on the noise and then back down to the RX. RTX.
It's not quiet.
I used it on something else.
Oh, well. Disappointing. I'll have to. No.
Right, let's see if I can nail it out.
This is regular crime.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
But the game wound right up now.
Yeah. A lot less background noise and white noise with the TM noise cancelling for sure.
Like it's that serious.
How much are you
There's no crash, there's no static about that.
I think this is the winner.
Yeah.
This place for me, then we go to kind of interested in the radio as well.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, well, we believe that the VK5 TM unit was probably a little bit better.
Righto.
But we did manage to do a bit of a test on 40 metres, and it worked a little bit better. On 80 metres, that's what we hoped, but they both worked. They both did work on 80 metres.
The 10-6 seem to have more background noise than the VK5 TM.
I think we're trying to learn more
Background noise, like
Yeah, well, you couldn't null it out. Where the VK5 TM counts low.
Yeah. I think this place here is so noisy. There's a bunch of radios being charged in the back room there.
yeah.
I think it needs something like a DSP or something along those lines, you know, because there's so much happening. It's probably struggling to find one noise to cancel out.
So
figure it out and do it.
without the noise canceller in, so you were on 40 metres, right?
Yeah.
So can you? I know you don't have a.
However,
What sort of level of noise?
Well, it was noisy on the other unit, the MFJ, right? And we put it across to mine, and we managed to null that noise right out.
Right. Okay.
And then I was going to test to see how noisy the band actually was. That's when I unplugged it.
Yeah.
And that's when it went into transmit, and now it's stuck in transmit for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Luckily, the MFJ wasn't plugged in when you went to because that would have been unfortunate. At least
It wasn't a totally successful test, but I'm pretty happy with the outcome.